Okay, well, thank you very much mga kaibigan, kababayan, kapatid ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa West Malaysia, sa Kuala Lumpur. And of course, let us not forget ang mga Filipinos, kababayan, kaibigan at kapatid natin po dyan sa Sabah, East Malaysia, specifically dyan po sa Kota Kinabalu, of which I came from po. But ngayon, nandito tayo sa Kuala Lumpur and I'm doing my blogging dito po sa Kuala Lumpur po, no? And, ang dami tayong mga issues dito, but I will just limit ang issue natin sa dalawang issue lang po, no? One is the first thing that I want to touch now is tungkol sa impeachment ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte na kaninang umaga po, no? Na mayroon ng third impeachment complaint submitted dyan po sa House of Representatives sa opisina ng Secretary General si Chaloy Garapil. But before giving you this news po, I also want to remind din po sa mga kaibigan natin, kababayan natin at saka mga kapatid natin, mga overseas Filipino workers sa ibang parte ng mundo. Kumusta kayo po, mga senior citizens, super senior citizens, and of course, ang mga kaibigan, kapatid at kababayan natin dyan po sa Pilipinas, mismo po sa bayan natin. So ilang araw na lang, no? I think it's just a matter of 3 more nights, 3 more sleeps. Then we are going to celebrate a very special celebration po for this year, no? For this year po, and we call it ang Valentine's Day, the Day of the Hearts po. Mga kaibigan natin, kababayan natin at saka mga kapatid natin po, both Malaysians and Filipinos, or kung sino man kayo po, don't forget, especially mga Filipinos dyan sa Pilipinas, no? Mga husbands, mga lovers, mga anak, no? Everybody that has something to do with love, something to do with love po, don't forget, especially ang mga husband, husband ka or husband ka, huwag natin kalimutan na it will fall on Friday. February 14 falls on Friday. So, ibig sabihin po kung Friday yun po, and 14, ibig sabihin po payday yun, no? Sa Philippines. So, huwag natin kalimutan ang mga mga husband, huwag natin kalimutan na pagkuha natin ang sweldo natin, reserve small portion, maski small portion na lang po, no? Kasi mahirap ngayon ang pera sa Pilipinas, maski isang portion lang po, small portion, just to show love to our wives, sa mga asawa natin po, sa mga loved ones natin, yung mga girlfriend o mga boyfriends dyan po, mga boyfriends especially po, no? Huwag natin kalimutan to give something po. Kung noon ang style dyan po, mga tsokolate, mga flowers, red flowers po, huwag natin kalimutan yan po. But I don't think so now practical po to give, sabihin natin flowers or chocolates po, no? Dahil alam na natin na mahirap ang pera sa Pilipinas. I'm not insulting, but anyway, that's facts po, no? Pwede naman po through our, sabihin natin, masking kunti lang po, masking pansit dyan, when we go home, we bring home, masking isang order ng pansit dyan, or any kind of food, give it to your wife or to the family po, and say, Happy Valentine's Day to or sa inyo po. Let us celebrate po, masking paano ang Valentine's Day, because this is the day wherein we have to share, show our love to our beloved loved ones po. No? Huwag na tayo pupunta sa mga motels po kasi mahirap ang buhay natin. No? Sorry lang. No? But it's a joke. But anyway, totoo naman yan po. No? Valentine's Day. And the following week, huwag natin kalimutan to also cheer up ang Chinese friends natin, ang Chinese community natin, both in the Philippines, dito po sa Malaysia, or overseas po. Now, let us also join me celebrate the welcoming of the Fire Horse po, no? Chinese New Year 2028 po. Because alam na natin, whether we like it or not, maraming din mga Filipinos, they also believe in Feng Shui, no? So, let us celebrate din ang Chinese New Year next week. Kailan ba yun ang Chinese New Year po? Chinese New Year will fall on February 17. After that, 17, I think Wednesday, 17 will fall on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we are going to start ang sa mga Kristiyano, sa mga Roman Catholic believers, faithfuls po, no? We are going to start ang 40 days fasting month natin po. And Wednesday is Ash Wednesday po, no? Ash Wednesday. Huwag natin kalimutan. And after that, on the 18 or maybe 18 or 19 ba po, mag-start din po ang 1 month fasting month ng mga kapatid natin, ng mga Muslims, those who are embracing Islam faith, no? They are going to start also ang 1 month fasting month. Puasa yun po, we call it puasa. So, maski paano po, let's help everybody. Let's cooperate and make this month of February and March. Month of February and March para sa mga Kristiyano and Muslims po. Let us help one another and make this fasting month natin po a solemn one. A solemn one po, no? So, yun ang po, kunting sakripisyo sa Panginoon natin po. Be it si Allah, be it si God, or whatever name you want to call po, especially ang mga Kristiyano po, no? At saka mga Muslim, no? Si Allah. So, let's do some fasting. Let's do some fasting. Yan mga senior citizens, hindi na kailangan. Sabi niya nga ang simbahan natin po sa mga Kristiyano, kung may sakit kayo or senior citizen kayo po, you cannot do your fasting, no? Just do it every Friday. Just do it every Friday. But those are still strong, no? You can do it for 40 days po, no? Abstaining. Hindi kagaya sa Islam na they eat before sunrise, no? And then eat again after sunset. Pero sa mga Kristiyano, we have to abstain something lang po. No? If, let's say for example, we used to eat 3 times a day, no? Siguro during the 40 days, konting sakripisyo tayo po. Maybe we cut 1 meal. We cut 1 meal po. And of course, abstaining of meat will be every Friday po. Wednesday din po, as Wednesday, we are not supposed to take meat. No? Kunting sakripisyo lang po. No? Kunting sakripisyo. But for those who can do extra po sacrifices for our Creator, then that's also good po. That's also good. Alright? So yun. Shoutout muna tayo kay Crispin Ermita, who is also watching itong programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. How are you? Salamat ang pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam wherever you are. And welcome po dito, Crispin. Welcome sa programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Don't forget, itong Nick Talk program natin, you can view it sa YouTube. Pwede din sa replay ito sa YouTube, sa TikTok, and of course, live tayo dito sa Facebook. Welcome na welcome sa inyong lahat. Okay, let's start ang issue natin. Ang issue natin. And to start with, I want to share with you po ang balita tungkol sa third impeachment case against Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Last week, I reported to you na mayroon na 2 impeachment cases against Vice President Inday Sara Duterte already brought, transmitted already from the office of the Secretary General, already transmitted to the office of the Speaker of the House, si Speaker Faustin D. III. And kaninang umaga, mayroon naman third impeachment na complaint against Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. So, let me share with you po balita tungkol sa third impeachment. Tungkol sa third impeachment po. Let's see if I can share with you po a portion of the news article. Lumabas po dyan sa today, dyan po sa Pilipinas. It was reported by lumabas dyan po sa GMA News. GMA 5. Alright, nandito po. Let me read a portion of it and at this you will have an idea po. And later on, after I read a portion of the news article po, I am going to share with you a video clip. Para at least kayo, mga kaibigan ko, kababayan ko, kapatid ko, who's watching itong Nick Talk Daily Talk with Nico, you will be able to see and hear talaga po. Nandito, this is the news article that I want to share with you. The heading of the news article is ganito po, third impeachment complaint filed versus VP Sara Duterte. Alright. Nandito na po. Filed against Sara Duterte. And nandito na ang news. Religious groups, priests, and lawyers filed today po, now Monday, a third impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte for alleged betrayal of public trust. Graft and corruption, among others, over the supposed misuse of at least 612 billion pesos worth of confidential funds. Ganon din pa rin yan po, confidential funds. Ang they are highlighted po sa impeachment complaint. Sa impeachment complaint. Lawyer Amando Virgil Leguntan, counsel for the complainants, said the impeachment complaint is based on the findings of the House Good Government and Public Accountability Committee on the confidential fund use of the Office of the Vice President or OVP and the Department of Education under Duterte. The Vice President's threat of assassination of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. and the accusation of certain Ramil Madriaga linking Duterte to drug money. Alright. So yun po. Public trust. Itong threat, do you still remember po? No? May statement lumabas si Inday Sara Duterte about kung sakali something will happen to her po, she already informed or instructed somebody to unleave si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos at saka ang First Lady po. Dahil dyan po naging issue ito po. No? And of course, yun na po ang accusation ni Ramil Madriaga linking si Inday Sara Duterte dyan po sa drug money po. Totoo ba yun o hindi? We will see po. Now, according to the news, Vice President Sara Duterte, as head of both offices of the Vice President and Department of Education, had the ultimate role of approving and overseeing the implementation of the programs under both offices. And without her approval, no confidential funds may be released or disposed of. The Legutan et al. Complaint endorsed by House Deputy Minority Leader and mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila De Lima. De Lima po. Siya yan po nag-endorse. I think this is the second time sa tatlong impeachment po, no? Against Inday Sara Duterte, si Congresswoman Laila De Lima endorsed po. So this is her second endorsement. The Sandigan Bayan recently decided to sentence a public school principal for pocketing 5,000 pesos to 11 years of imprisonment. That is on one hand. Can we give a free pass to the Vice President for stealing not one, not two, but 612.5 million pesos? Yon po ang sabi ang mga complainants po. And let's see po whether kailan ba talaga itong third impeachment complaint which was submitted this morning to the Office of the Secretary General, dyan po sa opisina ni Cheloy Garafil, whether it will be transmitted immediately to the Office of the House Speaker. And after that po, Office of the House Speaker, then he will forward it also po dyan po, if there is a need, he will forward it dyan po sa Justice Committee for the Justice Committee to verify, scrutinize, and so forth and so on po based on the Constitution natin po. Kung sakali na mayroon na sufficient, sabihin natin the complaints is carries a sufficient in form and sufficient in substance, then there will be a hearing conducted by the Justice Committee, no? And after that, they will be voting, and then after the voting, then it will be reported to the plenary session ng House of Representatives, and dyan po, they will also be voting, and if they find there is substance sa complaint po, then they will transmit it to the Senate po, no? And the Senate will decide whether there will be a impeachment trial or not po. So, yun po ang proseso, and let's see po, no? Let's see what will happen. So far, this is what we got this morning po. And as what I said last week or yesterday, I will be monitoring po, no? So, yun ang issue po, ang impeachment. So, tuloy-tuloy yan po, third impeachment. And this morning din po, ang Justice Committee ng House of Representatives po, they also conducted a hearing, and nag-vote na po ang Justice Committee members po, no? Unanimous itong votes nila po, no? Na the two impeachment complaints against President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, which was found by the Justice Committee last week, no or insufficient or sufficient in form, but insufficient in substance. In other words, most likely it will be dropped, no? Kasi walang enough evidences, grounds for the impeachment of President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. And this morning, I was watching at 10 o'clock dyan po, nakumpisa po, and ang mga committee members ng Justice, spearheaded by Representative Jinky Luistro po, na they voted already po na it will be dismissed. The report will be submitted to the plenary na ang Justice Committee came out with a decision na insufficient of substance ang dalawang complaint. So, ibig sabihin po, dead na yun. That's how I look at it. So, next is, ito naman ang impeachment, 3 impeachment complaints against Inday Sara Duterte. Let's see po what will happen, and I will continue to monitor. So, ganito yan po ang sitwasyon ngayon dyan po sa Pilipinas. Kaya nga, Edgar Emano is also watching. Shoutout muna tayo kay Edgar Emano, who is also watching itong programa natin, Nick Dog, The Real Talk with Nico. Mr. Edgar, don't forget, if you want to see the replay of this Nick Dog, The Real Talk with Nico, nandyan tayo po sa YouTube at saka sa TikTok. Sa TikTok, Nick Talk 21. Sa TikTok tayo po. So, alright, tuloy natin po. tuloy natin po ang on a Monday. Monday po. Kanina, I wanted to do early vlogging, but sabi ko, I have to wait until 3 o'clock po because I want to see what will happen dyan po sa Senado po, because may mga rumors. So, since last week na ito po, baka there will be change of leadership. But based on the thing that I was watching from the start of the Senate session, normal lang po, and still medyo mainit ngayon ang deliberation, yon na resolution ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan na tungkol sa yon mga dispute or exchange of words, no? Ang gobyerno natin, ang Pilipinas at saka ang China, especially yung caricature na lumabas sa social media po si Commodore J. Tariela, no? So medyo nagiging hot issue ito po sa Senado and still ongoing po. Don't worry, after ang vlogging ko po, I will watch again and I will make sure that you will be properly informed on this issue. On this issue. But when we talk about change of leadership, definitely po, wala nangyari. No? Wala nangyari po. So, let's see. So, the next topic that I'm going to touch is sa impeachment pa rin po. No? Sa impeachment pa rin. But before touching on the impeachment, particularly yung interview ni Karen Davila kay former Senate President si Frank Drilon, magandang mga issues nila po, no? Mga questions raised by, sabi natin, si Karen Davila, kaya former Senator and former Senate President Franklin Drilon. I will share with you muna po itong video clip regarding the third impeachment this morning. No? This morning po. So, hold on ha. Let me share with you po itong video clip na mayroon tayo sa third impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. Inday Sara Duterte po. Hold on. And, okay, sandali po. Sandali. Alright, sandali. Okay. Nandito po.
By no less than our party list representative representing Mamamayang Liberal, Congresswoman Laila De Lima. It's an honor po, Madam. Now, to give you an overview of what we find, 7 days after the House of Representatives impeached the Vice President last year, the Sandigan Bayan ordered the imprisonment of a public school principal for pocketing 5,000 pesos. The school principal is ordered to be imprisoned for 11 years. It happened a week after the impeachment last year. And this is the second time that the third set of complainants, the group is filing an impeachment complaint against the Vice President. On what grounds? We are alleging, we are invoking the grounds of culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trusts, slander, malversation, graft and corruption, bribery, and other high crimes, to the tune of 612,500,000 pesos. I repeat, it is contained in the complaints that the Vice President has amassed at least 612 million pesos, 612,500,000 pesos. And so I ask, if on one hand, we can send to jail a public school principal for pocketing 5,000 pesos for 11 years of imprisonment. That is on one hand. Can we give a free pass to the Vice President for stealing not one, not two, but 612,500,000 pesos? Do we give the vice president a free pass just because she has a famous family name? How do we talk to our kids? We can send somebody for pocketing 5,000 pesos to jail for 11 years and let the vice president go scot-free just because she has a famous family name. It came to a point last year that these complainants believed, and these complainants continue to believe, that it is no longer just the constitutional obligation of the House of Representatives to impeach and for the Senate to remove from office the sitting Vice President of the Republic.
Alright, yan po, narinig natin po, no? Yung complaint, na third complaint against Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Ang endorser po is Representative Leila De Lima po. No? Leila De Lima. Shoutout muna tayo kay Kangkang or si Carlito Felicen watching from Cebu. Good afternoon to you, Kangkang, no? Ang mga kaibigan, mga classmate niya po, Fundy called him as Kangkang. Tapi ang real name niya po, maganda marinig. Ang real name po, Carlito Felicen, alias Kangkang. He's a good photographer po. That I can vouch. He's a good photographer po and I know him that well. Anyway, God bless to you, Carlito Felicen, and of course to your wife and of course to your family and all the Filipinos dyan po sa Cebu. Thank you for watching. Nandito kayo po dito sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. And in case you want to replay ang programa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico, you can go sa YouTube at saka sa TikTok. Sa TikTok po. So, okay, let's continue po. Let's see. No, nakita natin mga pari, no, na they joined sa third impeachment po. No? Ano ba ito mga pari po? No? I don't know. Separation of the politics and religion. So, ito lang ang comment. This is my personal comment po. Ito mga pari, no? Pastor or pari, especially mga Roman Catholic priest natin po, no? If you want to, no, exercise your right as a Filipino, not as a priest, no? Not as a priest kasi dapat ang religion natin po will not mix with religion and science or politics po, no? But if you want to, sabihin natin join, as a Filipino, you have the right, no? Sino wag na tayo, siguro, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but this is how I feel it. No? Wag na tayo, let's not use our clerical shirt, dress. No? Ang dress ng pari po. Just use an ordinary casual attire. No? Because you are exercising not as a priest, you're exercising your rights as a Filipino, not as a priest, no? Kasi hindi naman lahat ng mga Katoliko o mga Kristiyano po believe what you are saying, no? Or ang cause ninyo, or ang fight ninyo po, or advocacy ninyo po. So if you want, okay, just exercise your right as a Filipino, and kung pwede lang doon, use ang clerical dress natin po, no? Or shirt natin or whatever, clerical. So, para sa akin, that's how I look at it po. Because I feel it awkward, no? Awkward po. Parang you're making use of our religion because of your, of course, you have the right, may advocacy kayo, may believe kayo, but remember, not everybody believe what you believe. What you believe. Kagaya sa akin po, I am a Roman Catholic believer, a strong believer po. But I don't believe what ang cause ninyo po, no? Pero kung pwede lang, excuse me, remove it, no? Remove ang clerical dress ninyo po. just be a Filipino, a normal Filipino po, not as a priest. That's how I look at it. I'm sorry if I offended you. But anyway, shoutout din tayo kay Esmeralda Labor Cristobal, who is also watching itong programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Okay, alright. So, tuloy natin po ang programa natin. I'm sorry. Anyway, sige. Nandito po ang footage that I want to share with you po, ang interview between Karen Davila, one of the, sabihin natin, one of the known, respectable media personality dyan po sa Pilipinas, no? And shout out tayo kay Lydia Francilio. Lydia Francilio, God bless you. Thank you very much for watching itong programa natin, Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. So, don't worry because in this program, you will be able to know ang mga latest updates natin tungkol sa Pilipinas in the event. Si Madam Lydia is not in Sabah. Elsewhere si Madam Lydia po. So, nandito po ang Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico po, na ang channel that you will be able to get important news galing sa Pilipinas. Mga fresh news pa ito po. Okay. This time, I will share with you po the first video clip that I want to share with you po between Karen Davila and former Senate President and former Senator, si Frank Drilon po. Nandito. Let's watch and listen to this video clip.
There is no doubt that these are all related to the 2028 presidential elections. If Tito Soto remains as Senate President and the House of Representatives would elevate the impeachment complaint to the Senate, a trial will take place. And Senator Soto has already stated that. If Soto is replaced, then there is a great chance that even if the impeachment complaint against Vice President Duterte reaches the Senate, there will be no trial, as it has happened in the past months when there was an issue as to whether the trial should take place forthwith. So that to me is the implication of this event, of this series of events. It is quite unfortunate, Karen, that we have a Senate composed of 24 political parties because there are 24 senators. So, Senator Soto cannot rely on any party for support, but would have to rely on his own political skill, which he has plenty. So that is what we have today. And I think this is one of the reforms we should have, if ever we should amend the Constitution, to review the suitability of a multi-party system in a presidential system where politicians can change party affiliation as often as they change their outfit, and therefore there is no stability whatsoever. So in many instances, it is the tail wagging the dog insofar as the Senate President is concerned, because the Senate President would always have to work on the support individually of 13 senators, whereas in a two-party system, if he is nominated by a political party who has control of the chamber, he just have to talk to his party and not to the individual 24 senators and proceed and implement their political platform because they have control of the institution. That is a situation that prevailed before martial law of FM, but with martial law, he abolished all political parties. So we have a chop suey of a political party system in our country today.
Alright, yun po. Narinig natin si former Senator Frank Drilon. Thousand apology pala, no? Si Lidio Francilio, not Lydia Francilio, no? Lidio Francilio. Good afternoon to you. And kung sa malayo pa yun po, we say it, salamat patang to you. Kawan. Alright. So yun po, ang kung sakali matuloy talaga ito, it will pass sa House of Representatives, the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, then there might be a problem on the position or position of Senate President Tito Soto po, no? If there will be a change, if that impeachment will push through in the Senate, there might be a change of leadership po. There might be a change of leadership po. So, in other words, kung sakali there will be a change of leadership, it means the minority will become the majority bloc, then there is a big possibility that this impeachment complaint will not pass dyan po sa Senado. Or in the event there will be a trial, impeachment trial kay Inday Sara Duterte, then there is no guarantee that Inday Sara Duterte, based on the numbers, because impeachment, whether we like it or not po, this is a political maneuvering and it is a game of numbers, no? So there is no guarantee that the senators will convict Inday Sara Duterte, no? If the minority bloc will become a majority bloc. And whether we like it or not, I don't know if you will agree, you agree or you don't agree with me. A lot of people are looking at the impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte originated or was aimed to tarnish and scrap the name of Inday Sara Duterte and the Dutertes in the coming 2028 presidential election. Because whether we like it or not po, based on the political survey, poll survey po, since last year until now po, the name Sara Duterte still top on the list to be the next president of the Philippines. The only way that they can stop Inday Sara Duterte to become the next president of the Philippines is to make sure that he will be or she will be disqualified in the election 2028, presidential election 2028. Some people are saying, matagal pa yun, 2028. No, I'm sorry, Madam. Primo, Jose Maria, Jose Marie, thank you very much for watching and hope everything is running smoothly sa buhay ng Casco, pinsan ko po, dyan po sa Zamboanga ba yun? Zamboanga? Alright. Okay, dyan po, that is the situation po ni Inday Sara Duterte. No? In the event that there will be an election or the presidential election will be held today or tomorrow, I can guarantee you po, Inday Sara Duterte will win in the election. And sabi nila, matagal pa ang 2020. No, you are wrong if you say, remember, by next year, October, lahat yon mga aspirants to be re-elected sa posisyon ng congressman and governors, vice governor, mayor, lahat na yun po, no? Because this will be a general election, no? They will be filing their certificate of candidacy. So, dyan na po ang presidente at saka ang vice president and lahat pa po, mga political seats po, no? Governor, vice governor, mayor, assemblyman, or sino mga konsehal ba dyan, no? So, it is not right to say na matagal pa ang 2028. We are not talking about 2028, end of 2028. It's early 2028, and that will be, election will be always in May. No? Always in May. And campaign period will start from, I think, January po. Hanggang May na yun po. So, in other words, this year, we can consider na start na po ang election fever natin po, no? Election trend na tayo po. So, people are trying to see kung nasaan sila ngayon po. Kaya nga, now we can consider ang presidente natin po is a lame duck president na po, no? Lame duck president. And don't be surprised. I suppose you already heard na may mga kampo-kampo political parties daw po who are trying to identify kung sino ang official candidate ng administrasyon, no? Narinig na natin si former Vice President Lobredo, narinig natin ito si John Vic Remulla, also eyeing for the post of president. Si Martin Romualdez. Let's suppose, kaya nandyan na po, no? Nandyan na po, whether we like it or not. Alright, but anyway, let's tuloy pa. Another video clip I want to share with you po regarding kay former Senator Drilon. Nandito po. Let's watch and listen ng second video clip that I have prepared for all of you po. Nandito.
Aaron, remember that impeachment is a political process, partly political and partly legal. And therefore, whether or not how the Senate will act at a certain point will be influenced by the politics in the chamber and the country. Okay, let's call a spade a spade. Senator Cheese was perceived to be leaning towards Vice President Duterte. He may not like it, but the impression was that he delayed the impeachment trial because it is not favorable for the Vice President to be tried in an impeachment trial with full view of the public, and it is not good for 2028. So believe me, Karen, the events in today's Senate, the changes, the threats on the leadership is all related to 2028.
Alright, na yun po. Believe it or not, what is happening ngayon po is all related dyan po sa upcoming presidential election 2028. Okay, narinig niyo ba? I don't know if you heard some news spreading around dyan po sa Pilipinas ngayon sa social media na si Senator Bongo will be jumping to the majority bloc. Have you ever heard this kind of news? Surprised kayo, di ba? Because we know Senator Bongo is very strong supporter of Tatay Digong. Tatay Digong po. So, may truth ba yon na he is jumping doon sa kabilang kampo? Nandito po ang video clip. You hear carefully po what the former Senator Frank Drilon is saying. Nandito po. And kayo na bahala po to think whether totoo ba ito o hindi. Let's watch and listen to this.
Right, because alright, from whom did I hear, media quoted, I think it was Senator Soto, who said, or it could be another senator, who said that senator is Senator Bongo. Look back at our recent political history. We knew that Bongo wanted to go for a higher office, if I recall correctly, as president. And, because he was not a political ally of Sara Duterte, Sara decided to run for president initially. So Bongo could no longer run as president. So you relate that to the political events today. Assuming that the media reports are correct, that Senator Bongo was the one who wanted to move to the majority. Look at that. He wants to move to the majority so that the impeachment trial may have a chance of proceeding, of taking place, and no matter how you look at it, that would be harmful to the quest of Sara Duterte to be president in 2028.
Alright, yun, narinig natin po. Totoo ba ito? Na may plano si Senator Bongo to jump doon po sa majority block for reasons that he wants to, he's aiming a higher position next election? Yan po. You heard it from former Senator Frank Drilon. No? Anyway, itong impeachment, may impact ba ito kay Inday Sara Duterte or Vice President Inday Sara Duterte? Andito naman po ang reaction, ang comments ni Drilon. Comments ni Drilon. Let's watch and listen to this.
You know, it's of us to our own opinion. But being exposed on national television to a trial of alleged shenanigans in the office of the Vice President will be harmful to the quest of the Vice President to become President in 2028. I think common sense would dictate that if you are subjected to this kind of a publicity, your chances, it will affect your chances in the next presidential election. That's the most logical way to look at this. So it is to the interest of those allied with the Vice President to refrain from or push for a change of leadership in the Senate because the sympathies of Senator Soto has been expressed that he would want to go to trial of the impeachment complaint. And by the way, that position of Senator Soto should be valid whether it's Sara Duterte or Bongbong Marcos who will be under trial in an impeachment case.
Okay, yan po, narinig natin, no? So that's it. Medyo magulo ang mga istorya, politics stories natin dyan po sa Pilipinas. But anyway, at this, now you know what is happening sa Pilipinas. You heard itong mga statement na coming from ang mga politicians natin. And my final video clip kay former Senator Drilon ay nandito po, tungkol itong impeachment, tungkol itong change of leadership. Let's watch and listen to the statement of former Senator Drilon.
You must be physically present in the session hall before a senator can cast his or her vote.
So is it possible? Go ahead.
So, if Senator Bato does not appear, that will reduce the number in the minority from 9 to 8. Okay. Now, and you know, Karen, they say 1 week is too long in politics. With the number 8 and Bongo not reportedly talking to the majority, that leaves them 7. So that's about 6 votes before they can muster 13 to replace Soto with one of their ranks. And I don't think that is possible today as we talk.
Alright, yun po ang explanation or opinion or statement made by Senator Frank or former Senator Drilon po. He's talking about the impeachment or change of leadership po. In the event that there will be a change of leadership po, kailangan po ang minority bloc, grupo nila Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, sila Marcoleta po, no? They must have a figure of 13 senators, no? That's the only figure that you will be able, no less than 13, that you will be able to remove Tito Soto po. If you don't have the 13 senators po, then mahirap po. Mahirap to remove Tito Soto. So, sabi ni Drilon, you look at the situation now, wala si Senator Bato de la Rosa because ang vote ni Senator De La Rosa will only be valid or counted po if he will be physically present during the votation. Now, Senator Bato De La Rosa is nowhere to be found. Absent siya po for how many months already po dyan po sa Senado. So in other words, mayroon tayong 9 members of the minority bloc. So minus De La Rosa, 8 na lang po. And so, kung sakali, totoo ito po, ang mga istorya haka-haka po about Senator Bongo po, that he wants to join the minority bloc. So it will mean that 7 na lang po ang minority bloc. But they need 13. Noon po, if you talk about 9 of them, thinking that Peter Cayetano and Senator Pia Cayetano, kapatid yun sila po, so you include, so it will be 10. 10 na yan po. So, kailangan na lang sila, 3 na lang po. So, there is a haka-haka move po in the event. There will be movement dyan po sa Senate leadership. Most likely po ang dalawang bilyar. Ang dalawang bilyar po, si Camille and si Mark Villar. So, it means that will be 12. See? And remember, mayroon din pa tayo yun sabihin natin dalawang Tulfo. Maybe one of them or maybe both of them because there are some instances wherein they voted in favor sa mga minority. So it means 13, 14 or baka si Ejercito because kapatid ni Jinggoy Estrada, Senator Jinggoy Estrada might be also jumping. So at least they'll be saved with 13 or 14, no? But with the haka-haka ni former Senator Drilon, sabi niya po medyo mahirapan po. But anyway, let's see po. Let's see what will happen. Let's see kung what happened to the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte dyan po sa House of Representatives. Then we will see po. Anong next move ng mga minority bloc dyan po sa Senado. Dyan po sa Senado. So, yun. Yun, medyo magulo, ano? When we talk about sitwasyon sa politics sa Pilipinas, it's a little bit magulo. No? Magulo po. But anyway, what to do? Facts are facts. No? Whether we like it or not po. This is really what is happening dyan po sa Pilipinas. Dyan sa Pilipinas. Anyway, let's see kung meron pa ba tayo dito whatever news that I can pass sa inyong lahat po before I will conclude itong programa natin for today. No? Ang Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico. Meron pa ba tayo dito? Let's say ano mga news dyan? Anong latest? Sabi daw si testifying versus Marcos not a priority for Saudi. Hindi daw priority ni Saudi to testify against Marcos. And sino to? Lacson warns versus homegrown traitors amid West Philippine Sea dispute. Madriaga testimony crucial in VP Sara's impeachment case. Alright. Government allowed 4.4 billion as 467,000 affected Basyang. Ito si Basyang, no? Grabe po. A total of 467,000 affected already po dyan po sa Typhoon Basyang. Alright. Okay. Siguro I can give you this. Mga kaibigan, kababayan, and kapatid ko po, please listen to this, sabihin natin, news po. Nearly 4.4 billion pesos has been allocated for relief operation in the wake of tropical storm Basyang as a Presidential Communication Office or PCO gave assurance that aid is being provided in affected areas. The agency announced on Saturday, citing Department of Social Welfare Development. Meanwhile, the number of families affected by Basyang in the Visayas and Mindanao has reached 132,000. Visayas and Mindanao po affected ang sa Typhoon Bashang, total of 132,000. The Office of the Civil Defense said. In Facebook post, the PCO said 4,000 or 4 million 397.068 budget is divided into 7 billion quick response fund and 3 billion food and non-food items. The government, masking paano po, no, they are trying their level best po. No, lahat ito mga affected flood victims ng Typhoon Bashang, they are all out also po giving all the necessary assistance. No? Kasi kawawa naman po na biktima sila sa typhoon. And I think the government knows what to do po. No? Because itong mga typhoon na calamities mayroon tayo po is not something new sa mga Filipinos po. Not something new. So siguro, I will continue to monitor the Senate hearing or session now po, and whatever news, breaking news that I will get from this session po, if I see it's deep important for me to immediately come up with a live report, then I'll do that po. No? So that kayo mga kapatid, kaibigan, kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, nandito ako ngayon sa Kuala Lumpur, ang mga kapatid, kababayan at kaibigan ko po dyan sa Kota Kinabalu, sa Sabah, overseas Filipino workers at saka mga fellow countrymen ko po dyan sa Pilipinas po, you will be properly informed. In the meantime, pasensya lang po, siguro hanggang dito na lang muna ang programa natin for Monday, and I will still continue to make sure na I will monitor anong mga latest updates dyan po sa Pilipinas. In the meantime, ito po si Nico Fabian once again. Would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Today is Monday, start of a working week. Let's do our best and let's pray and hope that this week will be a fruitful, problem-free week for all of us. Pagdating sa Biyernes, come Friday, make sure that let us not forget our loved ones because we are going to celebrate Valentine's Day. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I'll see you in my next episode. I love you all. Bye.